nice and easy so I don't turn things off. There we go. Maybe I'll zoom in a little. I think we got it. Hello, hello, hello. It's Friday night. Let me go back to my just give me a minute. Jeez. Now my tablet's upside down. Come on. There we go. Oh dear. There we go. Live. It said it ended 5 minutes ago. I have some issues sometimes. I have to come out of YouTube and go back in. I'm working with my notepad now. It was all messed up. Hold on. It says I have 12 watching now. Huh. Hello, hello, hello. Let me skip the ad. There we are. Woo! Hi, Joyce. Hi, Linda. Hi, Dee Dee. Hello, hello. Okay, Lala. Steph. Hi, Goldie. Come in. Thank you guys for your patience with me tonight. Welcome in, welcome in. I got some happy mail and guess. Hi, Jen. Kitty Jen, it's good to see you. Guess who I got happy mail from? Miss Dee Dee. Miss Dee Dee. And I can't show the address. She keeping her address private. I won't show it, Dee Dee, I promise. Sometimes I forget. And I go, oh no. Let's see. Let me shake it down a little. Let's do the shakedown. I'm holding it up to the light so I know I'm not cutting anything important. It's got a pretty stamp on it. And what do we have here? Oh, look, my phone is all crooked. Jeez. All right, let's straighten my phone out. Is that better? A little better? And I guess I'm not with it. Mary's not with it. Lori. Thank you, Lala. I loves you too. Oh, look, Dee Dee sent me a seahorse. No, she sent me a seashell. She sent me some Inktober. She sent me a sand dollar. And Dee Dee, the sticker stuck to the sticker. Look what she sent me. Some of her... and this is a fishy fish. A fish with a very fuzzy tail, and a seashell, and a sand dollar. Now, you know, thank you, Lala. I appreciate that. They are stickers. Well, Dee Dee, I'm eventually going to start a Dee Dee journal. I've been keeping all your happy mail, and I'm going to have a Dee Dee Willingham journal. I have happy mail from long before, ever since you started sending me happy mail. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. Put the smiley button on it. He always does a cute smile. So tonight, and Lori Pink Girly, I want to thank you for the Angie Brown bowl you gifted me. I opened Jacqueline's package this morning. Look, I already, look, I have it full. Does that fish have a mullet? Steph was asking, and he's laughing. Let's see, I used some of this fabric in my stream this morning. I have tape in here. And I thought I would maybe later, much later, I got some of this sashiko thread, and I thought I'd try to tap with it. But we are going to look at the Angie Brown bowl. Now let me turn it like this. It's an Angie Brown bowl made from lace. And Lori gifted it to me. It says, from Lori. Thank you so much, Miss Lori. I got an ad. Thank you so much. I'm keeping my erasers in here. And we are going to, I was thinking a dog eraser. These fabrics won't go back in there. The glue sticks will stay out because I want these for my erasers. Really, I shouldn't put this big one in there either because it's too big. It's too big. We'll put it up here. So I have this little book, and I think I wrote down suggestions that you guys had given me for these animal stamps. An owl and a cat, we did those. A bunny, a forlorn bunny, a raccoon, a bear, a wolf, a frog, a meerkat, a penguin, and a dog. And I thought I'd do the dog tonight. And I want to do him in this style with the, and my owl is getting so much ink on it, he looks more like, well, that's not a very good one. He looks something like that, only there's leaves in there. So I thought that I would get out my Society of Idea Collector and design some doggies. I tried a ghost and I didn't like my ghost. Here's the ghost. I didn't like him. He looks a little creepy to me. I didn't like my ghost. He's not an animal anyway. And thank you, Lori and Angie, for the Angie bowl. It'll hold my erasers. So let's get out the Society of Idea Collector book, which is behind me somewhere. I had it right before it came on. Here it is. And let me get a stamp out of my drawer here, a clean stamp. Oh. Down at the bottom maybe. There we go. And now I'm going to have to zoom out just a teensy bit. I want to thank you guys for spending a part of your Friday night with me. I appreciate it. Here's what I did when I designed those cats. And these are some steampunk dolls that Sylvia and I did. And I'm going to leave this page blank for more dolls, because I want them to, I'll do my stamps over here. And I use these Pentel high polymer eraser stamps. Erasers for my stamps. They seem to do the trick for me. Except getting them on. And I did remember to bring my scissors in. I didn't have my scissors this morning, and I kept using my X-Acto knife or my utility knife to cut things. And I might need my utility knife tonight. Oh dear. Get into the packaging. Let me get it out. Keep your hands away from it, Meri. So I didn't do much today. I kept the dishes sink, the sink clean from dirty dishes. Is about all I accomplished. Made sure the stove was clean of all the. Whenever I clean the oven, I always have residue in there. And so when I think it's clean, even though I rinse it all out and everything, if I turn that oven on, look to like 400 for about a half an hour, it will show all everything you missed. And so you do another. I clean it out with vinegar water and Dawn dish soap. So I made sure the oven was all clean. All the burners were. I thought I was missing a little burner cover. I couldn't find it. I must have thrown it out with the baby with the bath water. And I looked and looked and looked. And then this morning, after the stream, I went out to make me a cup of coffee. And I go, I know where my other burner is. My other cover is. It was doubled. So I might zoom back in again so you guys can see this. I'm going to design the doggy. Let's zoom back in a little. Let's fix my chat filter, all messages, and quality 1080. There we go. Lizzie Jean says, sorry, Steffi, I'm okay. Stephanie says, if you make a members live while it's live, Meri will send you happy mail. Oh, yeah. If you make it to a member stream, live stream, and last week I goofed because I was down at the lake and it took me 4 times to get signed on. And of course, the last time that I got signed on, I forgot to make it a member stream, so I left it as a public. I had 15 people, including myself, members attend, and I'm sending them these little Cornhusk doll postcards. And then I had 7 people who were non-members, and they're going to get postcards too. I've got these all done, and I think I even have them addressed. I don't think I have them stamped yet, but I'm going to print these off, and you should get them. Well, I have some other things I'm going to do too. And this morning, when I was streaming, I found I don't know what I did with them now. They're here. I found some thank yous. Yeah, I don't know what I did with them. They're up here on my desk someplace. I don't want to knock everything off hunting for them. I got several Fib Diggity thank yous. I got the Hiawatha, the mini haha ones ready to send, except for one. And so you guys that are waiting for the Harrison Fisher stickers, I'm trying to get those out too. Let's see. Stephanie says, let's see, I read that. Lizzie, I said, how are you doing? And Lizzie said, oh, yes, I think she said she's doing okay. Hi, Call Me Glitter. The membership area, I made them the 2 lowest prices that YouTube will let us attach to, because I'm not in this as a business. I started my membership area because I wanted to add one more level to my channel, and that seemed the most. I got an invitation to join the membership area, and so I mean, to create one from YouTube, you get a product manager, and you get to attend these little content creator meetings, which is really fun. And right now, you may have noticed me put up a lot of shorts that is called Fall Into Shorts, and it's all about fall. And it's kind of an event that's being put on by the memberships, the members. So that's fun to participate in. The one I put up today was the little gnomes. If you haven't gone out to see it, go out and check my shorts and check the most recent short. It's only, gosh, I think it's under a minute. I made it extra short. Actually, I had it for 3 minutes, but I split it up. I'll try to finish the other one tomorrow or Sunday. But the first room, I have 2 rooms, and the first room is the very lowest price that YouTube will let us assign, and it's 99 cents a month. And you get everything that the second room gets, except for I don't do live streams in the first room. And sometimes when I'm doing them in the second room, I forget and make them public. I think I've done that a couple of times now. But everything else I think is the same. Well, you may not have shout outs in the first room, but I usually shout you guys out publicly anyway. Let's see. And then the second room is called, the first room is called Fibdiggity Friends. It's 99 cents a month. And the second room is called Fibdiggity Creators, and it's $1.99 a month. Now, depending on how you pay for it with your credit card and all that, I know I buy a membership to my own membership area from another account, and I end up paying about $2.19 because of the processing fees for the $1.99 one. So it's about, what, 20 cents more by the time you pay the fees. We do gift memberships. Tina was in here this morning. She gifted 5, bless her heart. Thank you, Tina. And so I gifted 5 this morning. And I'm not going to gift 5 tonight because I need to pay my bills this month yet. It's coming up toward the end of the month. I got end of the month bills to pay. And if I have any money left, I'll gift some. But, yeah. I also want to remind you guys, I'll remind you again on Sunday, that Tuesday, I believe it's Tuesday morning, I will not be streaming because I have a dentist appointment, and it's in Lincoln, and that's a good 100 miles away. It's an oral surgeon, and it's just a consultation. I know he's going to want to pull my teeth, and I'm going to put up a fuss because I'm not ready to have my teeth pulled. I told him that 4 years ago. I'm still using them to chew with. Thank you very much. There are probably a couple that need to be, but they're not hurting me. And so, but they've been after me to go to the oral surgeon, and I know I've been putting it off and putting it off. Well, I'm finally going to go for the consultation, and maybe that will, I don't know. I think he's going to want to pull a back tooth, and I'm not sure I'm ready to have it pulled. I guess it's not hurting me. But anyway, let's go on. I will not be streaming Tuesday morning, next Tuesday morning, the 23rd, I believe it is. So that's probably all about the membership area. In the memberships, I try to do some videos. I'm kind of behind. I have a little book here, and it's buried over on the... I have a little book that I'm doing borders in, and for the Fibdiggity Friends, the first room. And the second room, we are doing what we call bird journals. It was a suggestion by Jacqueline at Lovely's Creating Lodge and Lovely's Crafting Lodge. I call it Creating Lodge because she creates. Lovely's Crafting Lodge. Jacqueline suggested that we do bird journals, and it's BER for October, November, December, and optionally September. And most of us are making zines, little zine journals. So that's been fun. And I worked on that last Monday night. I could get it out tonight and work on a little, but I want to carve my stamp. So I hope I covered everything about the membership area. Don't feel like you have to join. I know that a lot of you in this room don't have finances to pay out every month, and I understand that. I tried to make it the two lowest prices there were. And again, I don't do this for business. I'm not trying to make money. I just wanted to add an extra level to my channel. And I think I'm going to do something next year, like also kind of surprise to me, this DEO3, I've been making all these stickers and postcards. Those are kind of an extra level, but next year I want to add another level, and I'm debating what I'm going to do. I don't know if it will be YouTube related like the membership area, but it might be the community tab. I have not turned on my community tab. I really need to do that. But I might do something else too, because I need to turn the community tab on before January. So let's see. Let me refresh my chat again and catch up with chat. Let me refresh my chat. I'm going to get to designing this dog here in a minute. Let's see. Lola says, I had 2 pulled and I had an infection under one. I had issues after my breast cancer medicine and it affected my teeth, nails, and hair. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think I probably have cavities, but I've seen the x-rays, and to tell you the truth, I don't feel any pain. If I felt pain, I'd feel differently about it. Close YouTube and come back, Sharon. Oh, is Sharon having trouble? Dee Dee says, I had to. Sharon says, your voice is cutting out. Is my voice bad? Is it just happening to Sharon? It looks like it might have happened for Dee Dee. Close your channel, come back out and see if it makes a difference if you're having trouble with the sound. Steph said, it's different for everyone. It helped me a lot to get mine out. Your teeth? Let's see. Hi, Teresa. I finally got your stuff mailed, Stephanie says. Stephanie says, I hope it goes well, Meri. Well, it's just a consultation. I have a trouble relating to dentists. I haven't met one yet. Well, I met one when I was still at the university, but I was young then. He was nice. I liked him, but he's probably retired or gone now. I can't find him anymore. He's up in Lincoln, but I think he's closed up shop. And but every dentist, I haven't met a dentist here in Nebraska that I like. No, I don't know what it is with the dentist, but I get this stubbornness. You're not going to pull out my teeth. And that kind of puts them off, like, lady. Didn't have surgery, Glitter says. Teresa said, hi, Meri. Hi, Teresa. Teresa, your postcard and your napkin, I mailed, I had a giveaway this morning, and I addressed and stamped them, and my brother mailed them today. So if your name is Teresa, Joyce, or Linda Renz, you're expecting an envelope in the mail for the giveaway this morning. You should get it probably early next week. Stephanie says, 2 vids from Meri about the Society of Idea Collectors book. Oh, this book, is it this book that this was inspired by Dee Dee. Of course, everything about Society of Idea Collectors is inspired by Dee Dee. Thank you, Stephanie, for dropping that link. In about 2022, Dee Dee showed a light bulb that she got at Hobby Lobby. And she says, watch, Meri. And she'd click it off, and she'd click it on, and she'd click it off, and she'd click it on. And it looked like an idea coming and going. No, there's another idea. Click, 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 click. And it'd blink off and on. And I'm going, I'm inspired. So I got these little Tim Holtz fairy lights. And this is a hardbound art journal, mixed media art journal. It's a hardbound one. And I put a piece of heavy paper on here, and I put book corners on it. And I put this trim around there, and I cut a light bulb out of here. Well, in here, I threaded this fairy light, Tim Holtz fairy light, through here. And so I can go watch this. This is so fun to do. And this has held up well for me. Blink, 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 blink. Are you seeing it? Let me turn this lamp down. Maybe it'll show better. Blink, 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 blink. I have an idea from Dee Dee. Blink, 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 blink. And I use this. Dee Dee inspires. Let me tell you, Dee Dee inspires. Ha! And it fits over in here. And then in the inside, let's see, I started, I'm going to have to turn this light back on. It's a knot light. I used to use it for my needlework. I started writing in this in August of 2022. And here it is, October 25, so about 3 years ago. And I put different things in here. I'm not going to go through it all because I've flipped through this before. This is batik. These are some stamps I was carving. I want to do carved November. Julie Fairfound Balzer usually does carved December. But December is such a busy month for me that I've started doing it in November. Let's see, I was going to skip this one. I was going to go here. So let's see what else. Don't get them pulled. Sorry, I did it. Lori said, don't get them pulled. I'm sorry, I did. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Lori Pink Girly. I just have you know, the dentists, they're in there to make money, but they're not going to make a whole lot of money off my teeth unless, did this come from here? No, I've got a piece missing down here, but I think this was a piece I had out. Unless I'm really feeling the pain. Lori said, don't get them pulled. She's sorry she did. Call Me Glitter says, don't have surgery. Okay, well, you guys are thinking right down my lane. It's how I'm feeling about it. I wouldn't mind having surgery if I really needed it. Yeah. Let's see what else has happened. Did Sharon get her voice fixed? The voice cutting out thing fixed? Let's see. Let me scroll up a little bit more. Did you make a book, Joyce? I think Joyce is doing a Burzine. You feel dull thinking about it? I don't know what you... Joyce said it can be a composition book, or yes, you can make one. I think Joyce sent Lala some papers, but Lala's having an issue. And you know what? You don't have to make it if it happens to be our current project. Don't feel like if you're a member of the group that you have to do what we're doing. You know, we all have our own inspirations and our own inclinations. So if you do it and you're not having fun, if you're doing it because everybody else is doing it and you really don't want to do it, that's no fun. That's no fun. So you're off the hook, Lala. Lizzie Jean posted the little, and I have so much trouble posting those little, my own little bandit emojis. My phone doesn't like them. I was doing it for a while and then all of a sudden it didn't work again. Don't ask me, Lala. It's baffled me for 2 years and they've explained it countless times. What, Lala? Not to sound dumb, but can anyone explain to me what the Society of Idea Collector is? I still don't understand. Well, Dee Dee Willingham is the Society of Idea Collector guru. And what it is you have to go watch would one of the mods post a link to Dee Dee's Society of Idea Collector playlist? Because she's done this for years. And this is not my first one. I think this is my third or fourth book that I've done with Society of Idea Collector. I'm going to have to put them all together. And what it is, and I've done them different ways, but I should have content tabs in here. This one, I'm just putting things in as I work on them. But January of this year, Dee Dee did a loose leaf Society of Idea Collector where she has content tabs. And there are things like lists, and she'll put all her lists under that content tab. Like I have a list here of game pieces that I was going to do for one of my Inktober's, carving those. And we do group lists in here. I actually have a book for lists that I did long before I did this. You have a content tab for stamping and stamp ideas. You might have a content tab for stories or ideas for stories if you're a storyteller. Have a content tab for mind mapping, which is one of my favorite things. And just have all, and maybe because I'm in needlework, content tab for tatting. See, I've been playing with carving stamps for tatting. Content tab for maybe even your needlework. Here's some, I did this as a slow stitch project. Up here, this horse, I actually designed him off of a Fracture trunk. Fracture is being Pennsylvania Dutch art. And I designed this horse, and then I slow stitched him, and he's a slow stitch piece. This was a little mouse I did on a hexagon. And here I used this. This is a little rabbit I did on a Twinchy swap. This is where I was designing it. I actually used my little Twinchy this morning in my other journal. And but Dee Dee has hers divided up into content tabs, and I've done that before. You might have a calendar. I think Dee Dee doesn't do calendar like as a planner, but she has a calendar. I don't know if she has a calendar this year or not. But anyway, you have your content tabs, and then under content tabs, you might have different things under there, like for stamping, designing stamps, maybe a list of stamps that you have in your collection, stamps that you've carved, ideas for stamps. Here's where I was keeping track of my current projects. So how many of these did I actually finish? Happy Meal Journal, no. Knit a cap. I did finish knitting a cap, but it's too short. And I was telling the lady at the needlework shop that I really like my cap, but it doesn't fit over my ears very well. And she said, well, you know how you draw it up and tie it up at the top when I put a little bun up there, a little fuzzy ball up there, a little, whatever they call it, pom-pom. She said, take that off, undo your stitching, and undo your knitting until you get like a band, and then just wear it as a band over your ears. And so I'm going to have to do that yet. She gave me a good idea. This is some dyed fabric, I think. I was using my walnut dye on this and on a piece of tatting. This, I was drawing some tatting. And then over here are my more recent ones that I put the little stickers of the dolls that we've been creating on Dream Screen. But I am now going to design my dog stamp here. Let's see. Stephanie says, and I believe it's the $1.99 one where she sends the... Yes, it is, Stephanie. If you come to one of my live streams in the Fib Diggity Creators Group, Allie Kay kind of helps me moderate that, and she makes a list of everybody who attends. And you don't have to attend the entire chat. If you just come in and say hi and, you know, stay for a few minutes and chat. I don't expect you to stay for the entire chat, but Allie Kay will make a list and she sends it to me, and then I send a little thank you, which it could be a postcard or a card, and I put stickers in the card that Dee Dee inspired me to make stickers. And I finally got a printer that I could do that with. Let's see. I think I'll use a pencil here. And we want to design a dog. I might have to zoom in, but what I'm doing here is just tracing out the... Oh, you know, I don't want to make him this size. I want to make him this size. So we're not carving on my eraser. We're going to carve on a piece like this. So I'll have to cut a piece. See, he come right out of there. So I'm glad I used a pencil there. And we're going to do a dog. And these I did do stickers. I want to do some larger stickers. I sent you guys small ones, but I want to print off some larger ones of the owl and the cat and maybe the dog, and have another giveaway where I'm sending the larger ones. And this is a gargoyle that I carved, gosh, a couple years ago. A gargoyle stamp. All right, so when I design my stamps, I usually just trace out the shape of the stamp on whatever I'm practicing on when I'm designing it. And I usually do 3 or 4. It usually takes me a couple. And did I flip a page here? I think I did. I might put one on typing paper, because I usually, if I find one I like, I cut it out and then I trace the shape of it. So I've got this paper here. Let's do one on a piece of typing paper here. Let's see. Let me go down to the bottom. Let me refresh my chat. I want to thank you guys for coming in. Bless your heart. For spending a part of your Friday night with me. I understand if you can't stay the entire night. Hi, Belinda. Welcome in. She says, sorry, all. I miss Buddy is Needing tonight. Oh, Lala is saying she missed saying hello to everybody because Buddy is needing. Buddy is your dog? Is Buddy your dog? The chats are fun, but sometimes I get relaxed and fall asleep. Well, you know, I understand that too, Lala. I don't want you guys to feel stressed with the membership area because it's all for fun. And I am able to make these stickers and send them out and all of that because I don't have a large group. If I had, I keep saying, if I had 600 people in my group area, I couldn't do what I do for usually the chats are about like, what, 10 to 16 people, I think, have been, but we gave away 5. It's not a big, huge room, and I think I'm going to use a pen here to draw my dog with on here. Oh, you know, I don't understand. This is a Tombow marker. I don't understand these pens sometimes. The caps fit the front, but not the... let's see. That's a pen plus gear. Here's, I was looking for a Sharpie. Let's do this one. It's a little darker. Oh, but there's no cap on it. I'll bet you it won't. It's dried up. Ah! I'm not going to fool with it. It's going in the trash. I got some more over here, I think. I think I do. You can buy these in the box now like this at Walmart. And you can buy the pen plus gears in a box too. But I haven't been able to find the felt tip ones in a big box like this at Walmart. They're usually these. And the difference is the felt tipped ones, the ink doesn't soak through the paper. And on these, the ink soaks through. Now let me grab a phone. And I want to find a picture of a sitting dog. We're going to make him in this style. We're going to make him in this style. And let me go online here. I have to type in my password. And it's being stubborn. And let's see, let me go to Firefox. I use Firefox. And I'm going to type in sitting dog. And see what kind of images I get. And I'm going to go to images. And I want one that's kind of facing us, something like this. Oh, this is perfect right here. Look at him. He's a golden retriever. Isn't he cute? Can you guys see him? What is your preferred drawing pen, Lizzie asks? It just depends on what I'm doing. If I don't care about making mistakes and everything, I will just use a Sharpie like this. I do not use the felt tip Sharpie. I have one out here. I like to write with the felt tip Sharpies. These are not the felt tip. These will soak through, but I find that these are hard to get the caps off of. This has that little micro point there. I don't know if you can see it. And these, Dee Dee recommended, well, these have that little, but these are felt tip. These do not soak through. I don't have the packaging for this. This is called a Sharpie pen. That's what it's called, and this is called a Sharpie marker. This one marks darker and the ink soaks through. This one's more permanent, and this one is more water-based, I think. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. That may be permanent too. But this one does not soak through the paper. It writes a little bit lighter. All right. I found my picture. I'm going to use this golden retriever Shutterstock. We're just going to swipe him. And I'm just going to use him for inspiration. We're not doing any more than looking at him here. And now his tail comes over this way. I will not put the tail on. But I just love this dog. He's so cute. Okay, and I'm going to move this book while I'm drawing the sample here. Let's put my ruler in there to help keep my place. And just kind of move that over to the side. Oops, I got the flying geese that I was using for inspiration last Monday night for my, there we go. So, here, let's edit him down a little. Make him more like what my stamp would be. And let's just save that. There we go. Aw, he's so cute. Whoops. I guess I'm going to have to leave him like that. You will check them out. Yeah. It really depends on what I'm doing, Lizzie. If I am drawing like I do in that big, I don't know if you've seen me draw, I've got a big 600-page journal that Renee Suzanne gifted me. It's one of those big black books, and it's huge. But I will draw portraits in there, or I will try to draw portraits in there. And I like my ink to be water soluble. And so I will use those S gel pens. And if you use the bold, I think it's like 0.10 is the bold. I think 0.07 is the medium, and then there's a fine one. I don't know if there's a fine one or not. But I like the bold one. I think it's 0.10 for bold, and it's the S gel pen. And that pen is water soluble, especially if you use a vellum coated paper. Vellum will kind of reject the ink, and you can kind of use tonal values if your ink is water soluble. It really depends on what I'm doing. I don't have one favorite pen. It depends on what I'm using. Sometimes I use a ballpoint pen. Okay, we're going to draw this dog, and he's quite tall, and he's got floppy ears. Now, he won't be perfect the first time, and I'm just going to kind of figure out his shape. He's got a floppy ear here. We got to keep the ears, even though they're floppy, we got to keep them kind of small because he's a tall dog. And he's got a floppy ear here. And his head, his nose comes down to the, well, his tongue. The end of his nose comes down to the points of his ears here. Kind of like that. Now, I'll have to revise this a lot. But his mouth is open, so he's got, and I'll have to revise this, and his tongue is sticking out. His tongue is, forget that, this is his tongue. And then his shoulders start, he's got a little hair here. His shoulders start, well, actually his shoulders start under the ear here. And under the ear here. And then it kind of has a little roundy area where he's got shoulder. Now, since I want an area here in the tummy where I'm going to put those leaves down in here, in this part. It's got the watermark on this. It says ESB Professional Shutterstock. Well, I'm just using it for inspiration. I'm just drawing from it. I'm not selling it. I'm not even printing it off. I'm just looking at it. So I think I want his body a little bit bigger. And his paws come down. Now I have to have room for his hips though. So his hips come in here, and he's got big old paws. And he's got paws here. Now I'll have to probably readjust this as I go. And his tummy comes down like this. And he's got another paw coming down this way. Now, this is his back paw here. And then he's got a front paw here. And I'm going to have to readjust this as I go because it's an awful skinny paw for him. And so I know when I do this, I sketchy a lot. And I'll, like here on his tongue, I had a horizontal line there. And I blacked out his tongue. So I usually cut this shape out and do another one. And then I draw from that. But I think I got the composition of him on here. I just have to adjust things. Now his hips, I've got coming out here. So once I figure out the basic shape, then I can go in and readjust things. And what's going to be hard is his face. He's got a nose. His nose comes up in here. He's got his nose, and then he's got his eyes here, and I'll have to play with his eyes. But it's not too bad. His head is a little bit larger, I think, than I have it. But he looks kind of weird here, but as I work with him, his head might need to be a little bit larger. As I look at this, his head might need to be larger. So what I usually do is I take and you know, I work with it. I cut it out. Let's make another. Well, actually, let's do it in the book now. Because let's go back to the book. And I left my ruler in there as a marker. I don't need that cat. I don't want to lose my cat. So I know his head's too small. His head needs to be larger. Get things adjusted here so I can sketch on this. Or actually I'm going to put this on there and sketch on the next one. So I'll cut him out here. And then I'll just kind of cut out the shape. Now I know I want the head larger. So I'm going to do this in pencil and I'll adjust the size of the head. Can't have it too much larger. I might have to adjust the size of the body. But I want enough in here that I can do those floral shapes to make it look like have that design that's on the owl and the cat. So I want them to be a set. Let's cut this off, it's in my way. So right about there, just down a little. Right about in here. And you're seeing all four of his paws here, which makes him a little interesting to fussy cut. And Dee Dee sent me some of her Inktober stickers from her Inktober. I think her theme is sea creatures. I need to get to a Dee Dee stream. Monday she said she's going to show, she bought some Angie bowls. And she's going to show her Angie bowls on Monday. Actually, that head only needs to be a little bit larger. I think by the time I get that tongue in there right. And I'm going to do it with the pencil. And And let's see. I'm going to glue this one down in here eventually, so I'm going to go here. And I'm going to keep him out for inspiration. And I'm just going to kind of trace around this one in pencil. And I want to make that head a little, he needs to come down a little. I need this head a little bit larger. I'm okay with the body. So I just kind of keep refining him as I go. And I eventually end up with something that I sort of like. Let's see, this paw comes in here, over this way. And up like that. So here's the shape. Now I don't like this ear, so we'll make that a little floppier. And his nose, here's the end of this ear and the end of this ear. And his nose on here, his mouth, where his mouth starts, is right at the tip of the ears. So his mouth is right in here. And his nose kind of comes like, sort of like that. And then he's got a tongue hanging out. Now that might be too large of a head, we'll see. But I think by the time I get, yeah, I don't like that eraser. I like this pencil to draw with, though. And I'll go back over this with ink once I'm settled on it. He's got more of a shoulder here than I have. I have his shoulder in there. There. And it comes down, his tummy area comes down into here. And it kind of comes down into like a V shape. And this is part of his front paw. His paw kind of maybe doesn't slant that much. Kind of comes down more straight. And this is all body in here. And then he's got this, he's got a hip. He's got a hip here. Like that. And then he's got another paw over here. And so it's going to be interesting to do this line and differentiate that hip. We'll see how that turns out. Okay, let's go back to his head here. And his nose is in here. And it's a big nose. And he actually has two nostrils there. I'm not sure I'm going to get those in there. And then his forehead kind of comes up like this. And like that. And I might need to zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see. I'm not sure you guys are seeing it. Hi, Patty. Welcome in. Hi, Carol. Carol didn't stream this morning. How are you doing, Carol? Welcome in, welcome in. Lala's here. Lizzie Jean says, what? is your preferred drawing pen? I answered that. Lala says, Meri, I got the Happy Mail today. Can I post it on my channel? Yes, you may. Thank you. I don't know what Happy Mail it was, but you can. The only thing I didn't want you to post, Lala, was, and at the beginning, and I've been rethinking this, my attitude's kind of changed. The Harrison Fisher books, when we first started doing them, I was a little bit wary about everybody posting them because I didn't want other channels to take the project and run with it, but they weren't anyway. So you can feel free to post the Happy Mail, Lala, or anybody. Legia and Lucia are actually doing the zines, and they do videos of those. So, and it's a membership project, so just feel free to post on your channel, Lala. And thank you for asking. That was very considerate. I appreciate it. My attitude has kind of changed because when I first started, I wasn't sure what my channel was, the membership area was going to be. I didn't, I was feeling my way through it. But now I'm a little bit more relaxed about things. I really don't care. If you want to share what you're doing, share what you're doing. Or if you get Happy Mail, if I send you stickers or Happy Mail or even the October kit, go ahead and share it. I don't mind. I'm a little bit more relaxed now that I've had the membership area for, well, actually this is the 10th month. So I hope that explains it. Lala says, the chats are fun, but sometimes I get relaxed and fall asleep. Yeah. I think I have Dee Dee saying hello to Belinda. And Belinda's saying hello to everybody. I don't know. Those of you who say these group hellos and get all those, I would be all night typing all those names, and then I'd have to go back and correct every one of them. Oh. Joyce says, when you have a good idea, write it down. You might forget later. Yeah. The Society of Idea Collector, Dee Dee says, write it down. That's a Dee Dee quote. Write it down. And the other thing is, what does she say? Well, you know what I mean, Vern? And the very first time I heard Dee Dee say, you know what I mean, Vern? I was just new to her channel, and I thought there was a Vern out there in chat. And I was looking all over for Vern. Oh, I know who Vern is now. Let's see, what else does this say? Better get crack-a-lackin'. Dee Dee quotes, better get crack-a-lackin'. Oh. Carol's here, Stephanie's here, Lala, Dee Dee, Stephanie, Belinda Smith. Hi, Belinda. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, Dee Dee said the Society of Idea Collector is essentially a book to collect your ideas, and Dee Dee's is much more sophisticated than mine is. My this year's is not very well organized, but I do have an index in the back. But my prior years, I think, are a little bit more organized. But I'm going to follow Dee Dee's. I'm going to finish out this book this year. If I don't fill in all the pages, I'm going to have some blanks. But I have plenty of stuff to put in here yet that I lost. This book was covered up for the longest time, and when I was sorting, I finally found it, and I have a lot of stuff to put in here. But next year, I'm going to follow Dee Dee's tabs and contents, and then under her contents, she has sub-contents, like she has number tabs. I think she has ABC tabs and number tabs. I have to go back and review, Dee Dee. And I know I started it in January, but I got sidetracked with the junk journal January. I've got to learn, when I start a project, stick with it. Don't get enthused about something else. Like here I am on the stickers here. I'm using this one to draw with and this other one to erase with. All right, we're making this dog a little bit larger, and he comes out his shoulder here. Actually, let me erase this ear a little until I get the shoulder in. The shoulders here are pretty parallel, so let me just kind of draw a line and start this shoulder coming down like that, maybe. And well, I gotta have room for the hip. And then his hip, the hips are pretty well aligned too, and they come out like that, and this one comes in a bit more, and he has some paws. Like that. Now in here, in his stomach area, is where I'm going to put make this style in here. So let's go up here and work on his head now. And I moved that pencil. Oh, I should just use the eraser that I opened this morning, this evening. Okay, and I don't really, I want to change this. Oops. Okay. I've got the sign back on my, no, there we go. All right. And I'll go back in on pen on this after I get it, after I'm settled with it. I'm not quite settled with it. Now I like the nose, but I have too many lines on there. I want to make one line. And it kind of comes down. More like that. And his mouth is open. And it kind of curves up here like that. And then he's got more of a jawline than I have on him. He's got a nice little jawline in there. So something like that. And you don't see it as much over here. It kind of goes up. And then his ear comes down, floppy eared. And kind of in a... And, oh, I'm going to have to move him down a little because I'm right up to the very top of the eraser here. So when I finish him out, I'll have to put those paws right down because his head is right there. And I like to have just a little bit of space. He's just, I like in the shape of him, but he's not fitting my eraser. I might have to make the eraser a little bit bigger because I haven't cut it out yet, and I don't mind making it a little bigger. So let's just draw it a little bigger. Let's not make the dog any smaller. Let's make the eraser bigger. How is that? That works for me. I'll have to measure it out. Just a little bit bigger. Actually, the cat, well, he's about the same height as the cat. I just need him on this eraser better. All right, and so this ear kind of comes out and down. Well, it's about the same if you look at the two comparison wise, but I see more of his head here. I see more of his head in there, so it kind of comes out like this. And I don't have his eye in there. So see, I do a lot of when I'm drawing him and getting him in there. I do a lot of talking my way through it, and saying this goes here and I need to do that. And then I'm not a pro at this at all. I'm just having fun. And we're going to carve him. We're going to carve him out. He comes down this way. His ears are about the same line with his mouth there. Now his tongue, here's his mouth, here's his nose. He needs those big eyes. Those big sad eyes. Well, that doesn't look good at all. They're not that sad. It comes up a little. Let me erase this. He's got kind of an eyebrow. He's got kind of an eyebrow. That's going to be interesting to carve. And this whole area in here. Now I'll get it. Just hold on. Let me erase all that. Probably should have started with his eyes. And his eye comes right in here. And it kind of comes down. And it's round. Something like that. And this one, he's got that. You see his eyebrows, he's kind of got little eyebrows in there. Little humps. Little pieces like that. And this one, actually his eye is round in there. But I don't know if I can show that carving. It's kind of a hump there. And it comes, his nose is too big. I'll get it. I'll get it. His nose needs to be a little smaller. Because it needs to come up this way. Sort of. Well, I'm going to have to work with this face. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. All right. He says, I'm not liking it either, lady. Like that. The eye comes in here, kind of goes down in there. That's a little better. But his face is in here and kind of curves around this way. So this area isn't. His face actually comes down. If you look at it, this jawline is this line. But underneath that jawline is his mouth area. So his head actually comes down like that. And that's probably where I'm messing up, thinking his head needs to be bigger. Now let's erase that again. And I think I'm okay with these eyes now. They need be a little cleaner, but I'm kind of liking the set of them. His nose. There. Okay. How many times are you going to erase that, Meri? As many times as it takes. Like that, and it comes down like that. And then his head comes down like that and comes way down. His other line comes there. And then he's got his tongue sticking out here. Is that too much? Is that too much of a tongue? And then his jawline comes in there. And over here. In there. And his tongue actually comes down underneath of his mouth, so it comes down a little further. Now I got to fix this. Comes up here. And this area is dark in there and dark in here. Maybe not that bit wide. And the tongue comes down in there. That's better. Now I'll draw this in ink so you guys can see it better. But I need to get it in pencil so that I can. And he's got those kind of a sad eyes there. Droopy eye. Kind of a there. You know, this ear comes down, and there's actually part of his neck going on in there. So the ear comes down, comes out this way, kind of down a little, and like that, sort of like that. That might be too much. And I'll draw him in ink once I get him situated here. Then I've got to transfer him over to the eraser. But let's just draw him first. I'm liking his hips. This one's a little bit higher, so let's adjust that. It's probably about the same height. There we go. And his leg in there. Now, I think I'll draw the outline in black. You know, and I might resort to cutting this out because I like this shape and I need to get it onto my eraser. But let's draw him first with the pen. And I left the cap open. So you guys can see him a little better. And remember, I'm going to be carving him. So I have to decide what I want to show and what I want to be white. And that's going to be interesting on his face. It kind of comes up a little, his head. And his ear, and it kind of comes up and around, and now I may be changing this when because I'm not sure I have those eyes right, but it's awfully small. Here's his nose, and I'm going to have to put in a couple nostrils there, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm just going to get him outlined first, and then I'll decide what needs to be carved out and what needs to be staying. And then he's got a little bit of head underneath of his mouth there yet. And then his ear comes down and back up and kind of out that way. All right. So I zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see him a little bit more. Now I'm going to draw his tummy in pencil before I darken it, but I just got the outline of him in here. And you can actually see his paws here. He's got, well, I actually think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4. 1, something like that. And then this is his front foot there, and there's space in here where his tush is sitting down, but I don't have room for all of that, and I think it's okay like this. So let's do the other paw. 1, 2, 3. A little skinny one there. And then he's got a tush. And then the other leg comes down. Something like that. Something like that. How is he looking? And his other leg comes over this way. And then he's got paws. They're actually kind of facing the other way. Kind of facing that way. And kind of comes out like that. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I need to figure out, and I'm going to do that in pencil. I want to get kind of the leafy design in here, so I'm going to draw that in first. Kind of some little leaves in there. And maybe, I don't want the leaves to compete with his tongue. And let's make this one go down this way. And I think I can have one coming down. I actually think, it's my eraser, I think I can have leaves clear down in the here. Like that. And maybe one little one, and that might be kind of hard to carve. Let's redo that. Got to think about carving when you do this. Alright, let's bend it this way and put a leaf in here and maybe a little one over here. That works. And then a leaf coming like that. Okay. So let's draw the leaves in, and then I'll draw the lines, these lines. So the leaves come like this, like that. And then it comes down like that, and a little one in here. I'm happy with that. I don't want the leaves to compete with his tongue. So now I need to do these lines. And I think I'll make this line thick in here. Like that, and similar over here. This line thick. We're going to draw like that, and like that. And I don't like it competing with his legs. Now, this area, I have it already inked in, but I don't think I want that leg going clear up. I think I'm going to bring it down like this and have a line there. And the same way here. So now I want some white. Let's white out some of this. As much as I can for right now. So I want this shape in here. This probably come a little bit more like that. And I've got it wet ink in there now, so, and this leg coming in here. So, let's darken these leaves. Those will stay dark. Now I have a dark line there. I don't want to make this too complicated to carve. I do like that. I don't like that area. Because I've got this leaf coming down here. And I don't know if I can white that out. Oh, you know what I need? I need that paint marker. I don't know how, because his leg comes there. I need this area in here. Yeah, I've got too much ink on there. I'm messing up my pen. All right, so let's darken this line. And I actually want another line in here. I might have to redo that area there because I've redone this almost too much. So I think I'm liking it so far. I think I need to put a little expression on those eyebrows somehow. And his head, I think, needs a little more work. So this area in here needs work. I'm pretty happy with the size of the dog. Now, as much as I don't want to cut this out, I think I should have done it on that paper. Where's my other dog? Because I don't think I could try. See the difference? See the difference between the two as you work with it? Look at the difference between this dog, whose head was way too small, and this dog, how much I've refined him. And I think I'm going to cut him out and put another piece of paper behind this, because I want that dog. And I guess it's okay to cut up your Society of Ideal Collector, huh? Is it okay? I'll put a piece of paper behind him. Let me turn it around. There's nothing on the back. I'm glad I skipped a page there. So we're going to cut this out right here. Because I want my doggy in the window. I think Lala did a little video about the little doggy in the window. How much is that little doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that little doggy in the window? Is that little doggy for sale? Right? Well, I wouldn't say my singing's the best, but okay, let's put a piece of paper behind here where I cut out. And we're just going to put a piece of copy paper there. Yes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll be putting something over this. Where is it? Right here. Let's just cut it. Where's my scissors? I'm all out of frame here. I'm sorry. I'm repairing my Society Vida collector here. Because I'm going to, after I trace him, I'm going to put him back in here. You'll see. I have a method to my madness. Let's take the tape off. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, it's an idea book. It's an idea book. You can scribble, you can jot, you can put in notes, you can, you know, it's your playground where you get ideas, and that's what I'm doing. I'm designing this stamp. And, yeah, it's an idea book. It's not meant to be a art journal where you're doing beautiful art. You can make it beautiful, but it's where you get your ideas. And sometimes ideas need to be revised and scribbled on and, you know. Cut out. Let's put another piece of tape on here. If I can find the... I should probably put it on the underside here. I'm just playing. I'm actually repairing my page. On the back side. Can't see. You can't see where the tape ends and starts there. I should go. And we need this one up. I don't have it. I always say they need to give us a 1/16 of an inch on these double-sided tapes to, yeah, it's pulling clear up on the paper. If they just give me 1/16 of an inch as a pull tab, I shouldn't have to do this. Because sometimes that tape holds on to the paper and everything. Alright, let's get this one. And it, you know, your tape gets old, and depending on your temperature in your house, it can get sticky. I do like the double-sided tape, though. I like the Dollar Tree stuff. It can dry out. Okay, I think that will repair the back of that. And what I want to do, where's my first one? Well, he's here someplace. My first dog. Did he fly off? Did he fly off the handle? Here he is. Let's put this one in this spot. And then I'm going to trace this one over. Or maybe I'll trace him over. I'll do another drawing here. Erase this. This is a playground. This is not perfect. This is where you experiment and cut out and repaste and figure out what you want. And why is that so? Oh, because of my... Alright. So I'm gonna glue this one down in here, and then after I cut this one out and trace him over there a couple times maybe, and then I'll put him back. I'll put him back in there. So, but let's finish cutting him out. And it's just the way it's kind of the way I design these stamps, because it works for me. And the reason I'm liking the shape of this dog, but I'm not liking what's going on in his tummy area. I want to work with that a little bit more, and I want to get these lines like what I have on my cat stamp. I want those lines in there. There's 3 lines on each side, and I've got 2. I need another line. And so I've got to figure that out. I was cutting the dog. And after I get him cut out, I'll come out and look at chat. And usually if I work with him enough, I figure him out, and then I'm ready to carve him. And I might even use this guy as a pattern for when I carve him. I just need to figure out that tummy area. Now this gives me a hint as when I make stickers, how hard is it going to be to fussy cut him? On my wish list is a scan and cut. On my wish list is a scan and cut. Maybe I can get one for Christmas if I'm good. I still owe for my car brakes. I'm planning on having those paid off by January. So maybe next year I'll get a scan and cut. I'm not going for the big expensive stuff. You know, my printer was on sale, and after I learned how to use the thing, I'm really enjoying it. And it was not the latest and greatest model. It was one that was on sale on Amazon, my Eco printer. But I had to learn. I had to learn the thing. I had to learn to operate it. All right, so there's my doggy. He said that I just get such a kick out of the difference, how you can refine him from one to the next. And that's what happened with this cat too. If you could see my original cat, but let's go ahead before I lose this one. This one can be glued in because we're not going to use him anymore. Let's put him in there before I lose him. Oh, that's the back of it. This is the front. Well, he looks a little better there. How much is that doggy in the window? Let me lift this up a little. Got a lot of glue on here. And I'm not spreading this out because I have to. This glue is pretty thin, but I got a lot on there, so I'm kind of spreading it out to get it all covered. Let's put him right in here. There we go. So that's the original sketch. So what I want to do here, I made this one a little taller. So let me figure this space out. Probably about this size. Let's do it over here. Let's do it like this. My eraser is going to be a little bit bigger. But that's okay because, yeah. Let me cut right here. At least he fits on the eraser. They don't have to all be the exact same size. And he is about the same height. He's just a little bit taller, but he's a little fatter. So I'm going to take this shape and copy it with my pencil here. Did I put that pen back in there? Let me put this pen back in that glue. There we go. All right, I will do one more over here. Kind of make him off to the side. And this just gives me the general shape of the eraser. And I think I'll hold on to this. I'm going to write template here because when I cut my eraser shape, I'll use this size. And I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it over here with this. Yeah, actually about this size here. I'll have a little border down there, but that's okay. All right. What time is it? It's 9:19. I may not carve tonight. I may just get him designed tonight. And I really should bring my pencil sharpener, my hand one in here, because I been using these pencils, and I got that electric one from my brother at the Goodwill store, and I've been using it. It's out in the, do I have it here? This one's a little sharper. And I'm going to get me some more pencils. I'm going to sharpen them all. I had some, but all right. And let's do this a couple more times. That's not it. I put it over here. I wanted to do it a couple more times over here. And then when I start stamping him, I'll stamp him over there. All I just have to do is figure out that tummy area. Because I think I'm pretty happy with the shape of him. Let's do one more. Just in case I need it. I don't always need them. And this is just to sketch him in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. A little perfect wouldn't hurt it, but just to get the general shape of the eraser. All right. So I've kind of stopped looking at my dog here. I might have to keep him out. Let's get him back here. I don't have room for him. Put my template back over here. I don't want to lose that. All right. So I want to trace around him again. And I do this a couple times. It just seems like the more you do it, the better it gets. And I just trace the outline, and then I go back and fill in all the detail. And it takes me a little while to do this. It doesn't happen all at once. There we go. So I didn't cut that curve of the leg very good here. That's better. All right. And I didn't get the ear in here very well. Let's see. It comes like that. And kind of up like that. So now I'm guessing at the head again in here. And I'll be guessing until I get him finally carved. So his face might look different on this one than even on this one. And where's my eraser? I need more space in there as you copy them, because here you're actually making that line a little bit closer. Just a little bit, so you need to kind of compensate for that. Kind of comes up and like that, and then kind of comes down. And I said get the picture out here, his jawline here of his mouth comes almost even with his ears, and I have it pretty much this way. This ear, if you can see this ear, well, they both kind of fall into his neck area here. And I have a little bit of space in there. But I have to, because I'm carving, I have to have that line in there. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of space there. Just a little bit. And then the ear comes down. It actually kind of comes like that. If I can do that a little better. Kind of comes like that. And then it goes up a little. And then like that, but that's not really true. Because if you could see this, it comes down and then it comes across and then slants in. And I don't have it coming. Let's see, down like that, and then across, and then down. And then like that, and then kind of in like that. And I'll be revising that. Alright. So his mouth area comes even with these tip of his ears, which are about the same height. Like that. And so his mouth area comes right around in there. But that jawline does not, there's head, there's space for his head there. So this jawline does not come clear out to the, it's actually in a little bit more, like that. And let's see if I can. What I'm saying is, there's some space in here. If I can get it in there. And it kind of curves and curves. And I'll do this 2 or 3 times until I get it to my satisfaction. And I might have to come back. And I'm sorry for my lighting. My lighting is not the best. Alright, his nose is in here. And it's kind of a, it's not a pointy nose like a cat. It's got a flat base in here. And it comes up and more like that. Only I don't need to make it too big. I always want to make it too big. So let me erase it again and make it smaller. Sort of like that. And then it's kind of roundy at the top. And he's got nostrils in there. I don't know if I can get the nostrils in there. That we'll see. And then it comes like this. And then goes up. And he's got that little worried line on his eye. I call it a worried line. This little bumpy here in his eyes just looks so sad. You know, so it comes down like that. And he's got an eye in there. And his other eye is kind of sad, but it's not as sad as this eye. And it goes in here, and it kind of slants this way. And it fills the whole eye socket there. And this one over here, his eye is totally dark. All right. Am I happy with that? I don't know. I think his jawline might be a little fat in there on this side. Might need to be a little bit skinnier. Yeah, because it comes down. Now I got to get his tongue in there. And I got so many marks on this. Let's clean it up a little. It comes comes like this, comes up the middle of his nose, comes down, comes around. And then he's got his tongue is sticking out. Like that. And let's shade in his eyes just so it gives him a little expression. And you'll see this more when I put in the ink, but I'm not ready to ink it yet. All right, this comes down, and it comes clear down to there. And then he's got a little smiley in there. And he's kind of dark in there. And I don't know how I'm going to represent that with that shading with a stamp, because you don't shade a stamp. It's carved. It's either black or white. No, I'm not liking this. Just got to mess with it until I feel it here. And then it's a little shady in there. And I'm not feeling this. It comes like that and up to his eye. And that kind of comes that way. All right, now his eye kind of droops here. I'll probably have to work with that a little. His forehead comes here and starts going down this way. And in there. And then his tongue. I get so many lines on there. It gets cleaner when I start inking it. All right, and then this ear comes in here and kind of out and over like that. I'm not sure I'm exactly happy with that, but we'll see when I get there. So let's look at it this way. He looks happier here, but I don't have this guy inked in yet. I don't have that guy inked in yet. All right, his shoulders. His shoulder area, in here he's actually got a V for his neck. And I don't have that V in there because of my leaf. Let's see. If I come down like this and like that, kind of put that V in there. And let's see, let's put his legs in there. And he needs some legs. So this one comes out here. So this one can kind of come in there and down in here. And this is his other leg in here. Now he's got an area there which is really his tush area. He's sitting on his tush. And this leg kind of falls in there. Yeah, I think I'm happy with it. He looks happier there. You do look like a happy dog. I'm a happy, happy, happy dog, he says. I'm a happy dog. All right, let's bring this tummy down like that and up that way. Now, this isn't right. I need this leg, this tummy to come up in here, and this leg to come in here over a little. And there's where I can put my lines. because I need to get 3 lines in there. So I need to bring this down into here, way down. And let's finish putting the leg in here. No, that isn't going to work. Because I need this hippie dog here. And that means his leg comes down this way and out and around and up and kind of like that. And then his other paw comes out this way. What time is it? 9:36. I've only got a half an hour to refine this, but I think I'm making good progress. I'll get him inked in, but the reason I'm redoing him here is I don't like this tummy area. I want to get this same type of a shape in there. And I did okay up in here, but down in here. And if you can see, I think I made this a little wider in here. And it's not quite centered. It needs to be a little more centered, I think. See, I got too much over here. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I maybe just need to make this out a little bit more so that I can center this, which would make it wider, which is what I want. I want a wide area in here to put that. So if I bring this way in here, let me erase all of this. And it'll make it wider in there, but it'll give me room to put those lines in. So I bring this one here, bring it out there. Actually gets a little wider like that. And we do that 20 times. It won't be perfect, but it'll be me. All right, there's a paw there. Now there's the hip. He's got another hip over here. He's sitting on his haunches. So it comes down like that. And another paw in there. And I made this area much wider. But I did that because I'm going to give him this V-neck in here. He's got kind of a V-neck there. I'm going to give him that. Like that. And then this area, this entire area here, I'm going to put that leaf shape in here. And I'm going to bring it way down. Down this way. And so I've kind of made him fatter in here, but that's because I want to get this area. And I think once I get my leaf in there, it'll make more sense. And I might have to erase it 20 times before I'm happy with it. Yeah. So let's draw a leaf. Now I like my shape of my leaf in there, so let's bring this one down. Let's put a leaf there. And actually, I want that more like that. And then I want another one. Coming off over this way. Now I'm following this. Let's make a leaf in here. Now I can't, I'm gonna, if I have that V in there, I'm gonna have to be conscious of where I put these leaves. All right. I'm not sure about that, but all right, so I'm going to put a line in here. See, this line is where I get messed up. Let's put a line there. And a line up here. A line in here, but I still need another line. I don't like that area. Make it more like that, but then he's got an awful fat tummy. You can't see him because I'm doing him in pencil right now. I'm trying to work it out. I don't like that. I like the little leaf up in here, so let's make this V a little. Where's his tongue? Did I erase his tongue? I can't see where I'm going in here. My lines are starting to blur together for me. And I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get those lines in there. One there. I don't know if I can get 3 lines in there. It's not working out for me. Put another one in there. It's just not working out. I might just have to settle for 2 and shape it up a little bit more. Maybe I could just put a semblance of a line there. Just not feeling it. All right, I'm going to ink the outside of him. I'm not sure about the inside yet, but I want to get him looking like a dog so you guys can see him. And I'm happy with the general shape of his head. Now I got to put him on the stamp yet. So this is still experiment. I still need to get him. I haven't glued him down. I'll put this on my eraser, but I'm trying to work out this tummy area here. All right, let's do his eye. His eye is what gives it a lot of expression here. And his nose comes down kind of like that. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And this is his other eye there. And his ear comes down this way. And then he's actually got a kind of a smile going on here. And then his tongue, he's sticking out his tongue. His nose kind of comes in here. And I think I'm just going to black it out. I might put some little white nostrils in there. I think I'm happy with that. But it's the tummy area that I'm not happy with yet. Put his paws in here. Now that got a little dark there, but these lines will be dark. So I'm not going to fool with this tummy area, because I haven't worked it out yet. This could come up a little higher. And whoops. His leg comes down this way, and he's got another paw, a hip paw coming down like that. And this kind of comes up like that. Something like that. Let's see this area in here. I just haven't quite. This is wider here. Let's darken this area. And darken this and darken this. You see, he's got this very definite, and it makes him taller and thinner. I've got him a little bit fatter here because I'm trying to get those lines in there. So he's kind of a fat golden retriever. He ate too much lunch. Let's go ahead and put the leaves in here. And we'll keep working with it until I'm happy with it. What I'm not happy with is I'm trying to get this kind of same thing I have with the owl and the cat. But I may not be able to get all three lines in there. Meri's saying. And these leaves will take on different shapes as I draw it on different designs. And I'm pretty happy with the shape of the leaves here. It's this that I haven't figured out. Let's make these lines a little thicker. Alright, now I'm going to erase all my pencil marks here, clean it up a little. Might smear some of the ink. Now, go back in with the pencil and figure this out. If I come like this and come in here like that, I can still get a V shape. And maybe I will do it like that and like that. This area, I don't like that. I'm gonna have to, yeah, erase it again. Maybe I'll bring it up this way and out that way, kind of. Up this way and curve that way. And bring this line down in here and maybe leave a little space in there. Bring this line up, make it like this, and I'm losing that line. Let's bring that in a little bit more like that. Like that, and like that, like that, and then I've lost. All right, I think I'll be happier with that. We'll see. Let's draw them in there and see. And I might have to revise them one more time. But if I bring this line down like this and make that fit the leg in there, and then bring this line in to kind of mimic that V shape, only it curves a little. His tongue coming down there. And this line meets this leg here. And then this leg, this line mimics the V shape, and it'll come down into here like that, like this one does, like that. And now the only thing I'm not happy with is this area here, and I might have to figure this out a little bit more in there. And let's round his legs off here a little more. I think I'm fairly happy with it. I wanted those 3 lines in there, but I might have to revise it one more time. This area, I think I'm happy with this area down and that area up. It's right in this area that I'm not quite happy with. But it is 9:54. Let's darken this. And I'm going to go ahead and quit for the night and maybe think about this a little bit more. I like the general shape of him. I like how he's progressing. But I'll tell you, if I do him one more time, he seems to be improving. He seems to be improving. And I'm not going to glue this guy down. I have some masking tape under here someplace. I'm just going to put a little piece of masking tape on the back of him so I don't lose him. So when you're doing something like this, don't just settle for the first one or you get something looking like that. Just keep working with him until you get something you're happy with. I'm not completely happy with that yet. I don't like this area. I like his face. I like from his tongue up and from his hips down. This might be too big. I think I like the thinner leaf. So if I thin these out to about like this, I'll have more room for my lines in there. So I think that's what I'll try doing on the next one. And he's gotten a little fatter. He's gotten fat. He ate too much doggy food. And I got this down into my library now. I went out to the internet. And I will work on this Friday night. I will work on this Sunday night. And we'll just keep working at them until we get something that looks halfway good. Let me come out and look at chat. Well, let me look at it on here, so I can see it better on here. I want to thank everybody for... Where's my... Oh, did I have to get in here. I redid my YouTube. And so has to come over here to the front page. Come on over. Come on over. Where's YouTube? One more? No? Internet? Well, let me put him here. Where's YouTube? Now I lost him. Come on. I need you to go to the home page. Add to home. And he needs to come down there. There we go.
This is why the underwater treadmill is so clever. On a regular treadmill, running pounds your joints, and that's rough if you're already hurt. With this one...
Turn that sound down. Got a beep off of that. Let's see. I need to go to my channel. Sorry about that. I'm live there. And I gotta chat. There we go. Stephanie says, good night for now. I'll be up in the balcony. I think everybody went to sleep, Joyce says. It generally happens when I'm carving or designing because I'm so focused on what I'm doing. But if I don't focus on what I'm doing, I'll get something like this. I think I'm going to redesign this dog one more time. I think I got this leaf too fat, too big. I'm going to make him smaller. And I like the dog a little bit larger. This dog is skinny and tall, but I didn't have room to put anything in there. So I made him a little larger here, and I made him way larger over here. But he's not as skinny and tall. But I'm kind of liking this one. But I think I'll make this leaf a little bit skinnier here, and I'll have room for these lines that I'm wanting to put in there. All right. So I'm sorry if I bored everybody. Hi, Lori Beth. What did she say? Sleeps well, Lala. Let's see. Lala, I think, went to bed. Lala says, I'm going to shut up and rest in the balcony. Mary's voice sounds so soothing. Yeah. It's because I'm talking, I'm boring you guys to sleep. That's okay, Lala. You need your rest. Copy your page with your printer, Mary, and then cut that out. Yes, I should have done that, except for my printer is out in the kitchen, and I'd have to get up and go out in the kitchen. I have more light out there because we've got a west window, and I can see my printer settings a lot better. I need to move my printer back in here so that I can work with it on these. That's really an excellent idea, Lori Beth. Rather than what I was doing was cutting it out and gluing them back in. I'll remember that one, Lori Beth. Thank you. Stephanie says, you need to rest. When you need to rest, you need to. Don't feel bad about it. That's true. Angie says, I know this isn't like me, but it's been a long day today. Well, you need to rest, Angie. Sweet dreams. They're saying goodnight to Angie. Lori Beth said he's real cute, Mary. I think I'm liking him. You know, he's not a tall, skinny dog. That dog that I drew off the picture was taller and skinnier. But I'm liking this one because I'm changing the style of him a little. I'm really making him a little bit more fatter than what. This one isn't too bad size-wise, but this one got real fat. But we're going to we're going to go with it again. Maybe I'll make him a little bit skinnier here because I'm going to make these leaves. I'll have to see. I'll just have to work with it. I'm not done with him. They're saying hi to Lori Beth. Laura was here. Hi, Laura, if you're still out there. Carol went to bed. I think I bored you all. But it's 10 o'clock and I'm tired. Steph says I'm still here, but Clover is awake now. Lizzie Jean was in here. Patty Cream was here. Lala. Lori Beth and Stephanie. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. I think I might put this on my, make a thumbnail out of this, put it on my, I might move this over a little because if I make a thumbnail, I kind of want them. And we'll just keep working with him and eventually I'll carve him. So we opened mail from Dee Dee this evening. And what else? Is that about all I did? I think that's about all I did. I did the happy mail from Dee Dee. We did some chatting. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Have a great weekend. And I will see you Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Central. Watch the shorts tab because I'll be putting up fall into short videos. I'm going to do some more gnomes. I might do some, I was thinking about that pumpkin we did this morning. I don't want to do Halloween. And I thought, I could do the witch and say, they make me look like an evil old hag. And I could do the skeleton saying, well, they made me all skin and bones. All bones and no skin. So I was thinking maybe I'd do some satire on the Halloween characters in my shorts. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe and be happy. Bye.